Why does football have the power to make grown men cry? How can a single moment on the pitch create memories that last a lifetime? The FIFA World Cup has given us emotions that no other sporting event can. It's more than just a game. It's passion, history, heartbreak, and glory all wrapped into one. Every 4 years, legends are made and unforgettable stories are written. From last-minute winners to controversial calls, every World Cup has moments that leave fans speechless. And today, we're taking you on a journey through some of the most shocking, inspiring, and unbelievable moments in World Cup history. Stay tuned, and if you love football, subscribe to Foodie Focus TV for more thrilling content. Now let's get into it. Maradona's Hand of God. Imagine a goal that should never have counted but became one of the most famous in history. That's exactly what happened in 1986 when Diego Maradona stunned the world with his Hand of God. Argentina was facing England in a tense quarterfinal, and suddenly, Maradona leaped into the air and punched the ball into the net. The referee didn't see it, and the goal stood. England protested, but nothing changed. Just minutes later, Maradona delivered another masterpiece, dribbling past 5 defenders to score what many call the goal of the century. This match wasn't just about football. It was political, emotional, and legendary. Maradona left his mark forever, proving that genius and controversy can exist in the same player. Football is full of debatable moments, but few have been as talked about as Maradona's infamous goal. Even decades later, fans argue over it. Was it pure cheating, or was it just the craftiness of a footballing genius? Regardless of the answer, the Hand of God will never be forgotten. Zidane's sheo-seeking headbutt. What goes through a player's mind when they decide to throw it all away in an instant? That's the question people asked when Zinedine Zidane, one of football's greatest legends, committed an act that stunned the world. The 2006 World Cup final was supposed to be his crowning moment, the perfect way to end a glorious career. He had already scored a stunning Panenka penalty in the 7th minute, showcasing his trademark elegance and composure. But what happened next overshadowed all of that. With the match tied 1-1 in extra time, Zidane exchanged words with Italian defender Marco Materazzi. Then, in an unforgettable moment, Zidane turned and drove his head into Materazzi's chest, knocking him to the ground. The referee, after consulting his assistant, had no choice but to brandish the red card. The French captain, in his final professional match, was sent off in disgrace. As he walked off the pitch, past the World Cup trophy, the weight of his actions must have sunk in. Instead of leading France to victory, he had left them a man down at a crucial stage. Whatever was said, it was enough to make Zidane snap, leading to one of the most infamous moments in football history. France, without their leader, struggled through the penalty shootout. Italy, led by a determined Gianluigi Buffon, held their nerve and won the World Cup. Brazil's nightmare against Germany, a World Cup semifinal. A packed Maracanã stadium filled with 58,000 passionate Brazilian fans. The most successful team in World Cup history on the verge of making it to the final in their own country. This was supposed to be Brazil's moment of redemption, a chance to reclaim the title they had last won in 2002. Instead, it became a night of horror, one of the most humiliating defeats in football history. Germany, a well-oiled machine of precision and discipline, dismantled Brazil in stunning fashion. Within the first 29 minutes, the score was 5-0. The stadium, once roaring with excitement, fell into stunned silence. Brazilian fans, accustomed to seeing their team dominate, were reduced to tears as goal after goal found the back of the net. It was a disaster unfolding in real time. The absence of Neymar, Brazil's talisman, was already a concern before the match. Their captain, Thiago Silva, was also missing due to suspension, but no one expected the complete collapse that followed. Germany exposed Brazil's defensive frailties with ruthless efficiency. Thomas Müller opened the scoring in the 11th minute. What followed was a relentless onslaught. Miroslav Klose, Toni Kroos twice, and Sami Khedira all scored in quick succession, leaving Brazil in complete disarray. It wasn't just a loss, it was an embarrassment. Brazil's defense was non-existent, their midfield overwhelmed, and their attack ineffective. By halftime, they looked broken. In the second half, Andre Chirel added 2 more goals to make it 7-0 before Oscar managed a late consolation goal, barely worth celebrating. The final score was 7-1, an unimaginable humiliation on home soil. As the final whistle blew, the Brazilian players stood frozen, unable to process what had happened. The Maracana crowd, many in tears, had witnessed the worst night in Brazilian football history. Television cameras captured the stunned reactions of fans, from sobbing children to devastated adults who had expected glory, not disgrace. This match wasn't just a defeat, it was a national tragedy. Brazil had prided itself on its footballing legacy, and to be humiliated in such a manner, in their own country, was unimaginable. The fallout was immediate. Manager Luiz Felipe Scolari, who had led Brazil to glory in 2002, was widely criticized. The defeat exposed the flaws in Brazilian football, an over-reliance on individual brilliance rather than tactical discipline. Germany, on the other hand, went on to win the final against Argentina, but their semifinal victory became the defining moment of the tournament. It was a brutal reminder that in football, nothing is guaranteed. The 7-1 loss remains the darkest day in Brazil's proud football history, a nightmare they will never forget. The miracle of BER. Sometimes the greatest stories in football come from the most unexpected places. In 1954, Hungary was the dominant force in world football. They had destroyed West Germany 8-3 in the group stage and were unbeaten for years. Nobody gave Germany a chance in the final, but football has a way of surprising us. Hungary raced to a 2-0 lead, and it looked like the match was going as expected. But something changed. West Germany fought back, equalized, and then, with just minutes to go, Helmut Rahn scored the winning goal. The miracle of Bern was complete. Germany had pulled off one of the biggest upsets in history. The football world was stunned. This victory wasn't just about football. It gave Germany a new sense of hope and pride in a difficult time. The rise of Kylian Mbappé. What does it take for a teenager to dominate the biggest tournament in football? Ask Kylian Mbappé. At just 19 years old, he played with the maturity and confidence of a veteran, proving himself on the grandest stage. The 2018 World Cup was his breakthrough, and from the group stages to the final, he was a constant threat. His blistering speed, technical ability, and lethal finishing made him a nightmare for defenders. His defining moment came in the round of 16 against Argentina. In a high-stakes match, Mbappé announced himself to the world with a breathtaking performance. He won a penalty with a dazzling solo run before scoring twice in quick succession, becoming the first teenager since Pelé to score multiple goals in a World Cup knockout match. France triumphed 4-3, and the world took notice. Mbappé wasn't just a young talent, he was a superstar in the making. Then came the final against Croatia. Once again, he delivered. With France leading 3-1, Mbappé struck a stunning long-range goal, sealing a 4-2 victory. Ini stays last minute magic. Finals are usually tight, cagey, and full of nerves. That was the case in 2010 when Spain faced the Netherlands. Both teams struggled to break each other down. The game was heading for penalties. Then, out of nowhere, Andres Iniesta found himself in space inside the box. A perfect strike, a goal, and history was made. Spain had won their first ever World Cup. These moments remind us why we love the game, why we celebrate the highs, and why we feel the heartbreaks. Which of these unforgettable moments is your favorite? Let us know in the comments. And if you love football, subscribe to Foodie Focus CD for more incredible content. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.